So today we have St. Patrick's Day, so we have to know this is coming. We have a themed workout today. We're going to be spelling out clover. So it's 4-leaf clover. We're a lucky day today, so we're going to spell that out. We're going to do 3 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with the demos, and then we'll get into the warm-up. So starting off today here, we have our C. And what we're going to do here is a continuous lateral bound to stabilize. So basically what that means is we are going to be jumping back and forth 3 times. We're going to start on one leg, sinking into that hip, pushing off, exploding, landing nice and soft, other side. But we're going to go back and forth a few times, and then we're going to pause and stabilize. We're going to do 3 back and forth. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and on the third one, we're going to pause. So that's what we're going to be doing, using those hips, pushing those hips back, landing, going as far as we can, and then stabilizing on that third one. So that is our C. And then for the L, we're going to do lateral lunges, but we're going to move through that. So starting on one side of your space, you're going to step over to the side, hips back, push the ground away, stand back up. And then again, going as far as we can. So it might be 2, it might be 3. I think I might go with 2. I'm about to run into the bikes. And then we'll go back the other direction. So that's going to be our moving lateral lunge. And then for the O, we're going to do a bent over L into an overhead press. So just like with our bent over T's, the A's, all of that, we're going to push those hips back. Arms are going to come straight out in front. We're going to drive the elbows up. So come from this direction. So we're driving up. So it's like we're making an L. Then we're going to rotate our hands forward and then reaching overhead and then back down. So it's a few movements. So it's a bent over L. So we're coming up, elbows all the way out to the side, rotating forward, pressing overhead and back down. So that is going to be our O movement today. And then for the V in clover, we're going to do some V ups here. So we're going to be on the ground, laying nice and flat here, pushing the belly button into the ground, arms overhead, legs slight above the ground, coming up, touching the toes and back down. So we're using the core to bring those legs up and then back down. So you can also lift those shoulders up off the ground if that feels comfortable. We did a similar movement this morning. My neck wasn't having it, so this is going to be the way I'm doing V-ups today. But that's going to be the V. And then we're going to flip on over. For the E, we're going to do eccentric push-ups here, but we're going to do one leg. So we're going to do one leg at a time. So having those hands up underneath the shoulders, getting into that nice tall plank position. We're going to lift one foot up, slowly lower ourselves, and then you can get back up however you need to, and then the other foot holding up. Same thing. If you would like to challenge yourself, feel free to work on pushing yourself back up. I'm definitely not at that point today with the single leg one. So I'll be just doing the slowly lowering, but if you want to challenge yourself, definitely please do so. And then finally, last thing we're going to do is a reverse lunge with rotation. So we're going to start at the top of our space. We're going to step back into the reverse lunge, rotate, opening up towards that front leg, keep that core nice and controlled, stand back up. So it's all doing that. So it's not all one movement per se. We're going to step back and then rotate all the way. So try and get those shoulders in line with that knee and then stand back up. So that is going to be the whole workout. Like I said, we're spelling clover out. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started with our warm up. Starting at the top of our space, we're going to do the world's greatest stretch. Get ready for all of our rotation and lower body movements. So interlace those fingers, grab onto the knee, inhaling, pulling towards the chest. And we're going to exhale, step back into that reverse lunge, hands on the inside of our front foot. Keep that back leg nice and straight. Nice big deep belly breath. And we're exhaling, bringing the left hand up towards the ceiling. Giving that nice rotation. I think my entire spine just cracked. And we're going to exhale, plant that hand on the outside of the front foot. Push ourselves up into that nice hamstring stretch. And nice big deep breath. And we're gonna exhale, bring your feet together and stand on up. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlace those fingers, grab onto the left knee, pull in towards the chest. Nice big deep breath. And exhaling, stepping back into our reverse lunge. Hands going on the inside of the front leg. Keeping that leg back leg nice and straight. Nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, opening up towards that front leg, gazing past our thumb. Getting ready for our reverse lunge rotation, also warming up those hips. And exhaling, planting that hand on the outside of our front foot. Push ourselves up into that hamstring stretch. And we're gonna exhale, bring our feet together. We're gonna go ahead and stand on up. Awesome. All right, last part of our warm up. We're gonna get our arms ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead down onto the ground into our nice plank position. We're gonna do a couple planks of pikes. And we're gonna go ahead and exhale, push those hips up. You can pedal those heels a little bit, stretch out the calves. Be ready to go for all of our lateral bounds that we're gonna be doing. So a little bit of jumping today. And back to the plank. And 2 more, push up. Gonna even poke your head through, get a nice upper back stretch. And back down. And last one, pushing up. And let's go ahead and walk our hands towards our feet. And we can go ahead and stand on up. And we are ready to rock and roll. So starting off, we're doing 3 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest and transition time. Spelling out CLOVER. So we're starting off with our continuous lateral bound to stabilize, okay? So we're gonna start here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So, oh, whoops, that was not the right one. Okay, we're going now. Apparently it was the countdown instead of the count up. Okay, so lateral bound. So we're going 1, 2, 3, and then we're stabilizing here for a few seconds. And then going again, 1, 2, 3, stabilizing. So we're switching off our legs to stabilizing. So this is the continuous part, is that we're not breaking. And then really making sure, push those hips slightly back. It's kind of like we're pulling that rubber band. So we're getting nice and tight and we're unloading nice and quick. Not doing that anymore. Not going onto the mat. We're going this way. So nice and quick, and then land, stabilize. Try and push yourself, jump a little bit further this time if you can. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our lateral lunges moving. So starting on one side, going 2 to 3 steps in one direction. 3, 2, 1. So we're stepping out, hips going back, push your ground away, stand back up. So we want that whole foot on the ground, knee just past that second toe, pushing away and standing on up. So we're only gonna get 2 in each direction this time. For me, that's okay. Keep that chest open. So from this angle here, just like we're performing a squat, stepping out, hips are going back, chest is up and open. We're squeezing that orange, cracking the egg, whatever we want to think of. And then our knee is over that second toe, pushing the ground away. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our bent over L to overhead press. So from this angle, we're bringing those elbows straight up, rotating, and then overhead. 3, 2, 1. So hips pushing back, like we're closing that door, core is tight. Drive the elbows. So we're making an L, rotate, and then bring overhead. So I'll do a few this direction. So elbows up, hands are down. Bring those hands level with the elbows, straight overhead in that same direction. Switch from this side. So driving those elbows like we have a plane of glass on our back. Break that glass with the elbow and then with the hands, and then coming down. So this one's great. This first drive is going to work on the backs of the shoulders, great for posture. That rotation is great for our rotator cuffs. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job, y'all. Next up, we have our V-ups. So laying on the ground, all the way stretched out, push that belly button into the ground. 3, 2, 1. So we're lifting those legs up, touching the toes, back down. It helps if we exhale as we come up, helping us engage that core. Really making sure we're pushing that belly button into the ground and then pull with that core. So pushing the belly button in is going to activate that core. If you need to, we can go ahead and push on to your lower stomach. Make sure your abs are engaged. Shouldn't even necessarily say abs, the lower core. And then coming up, touch those toes. Great job. Try and keep those quads nice and loose. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our single leg push-up, eccentric push-up. So lowering ourselves nice and slow onto the ground. 3, 2, 1. So hands are underneath the shoulders, going 1, 2, 3, and then come back up however we need to. So I'm switching our legs. So we're going to alternate every other push-up. We're going to do a different leg. And as I was saying during the demo part, if you are at that point where you're going to push yourself up on one leg, definitely do that. Or we can even work up to doing that each round. So controlling ourselves on the way down. Keep our glute engaged if our foot is up. Nice job. We got maybe 1 to 2 more push-ups in us before time runs out. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last part here, last part of round 1, we have reverse lunge with the twist. So we're step back, rotate towards that front leg. 3, 2, 1. So stepping back into that reverse lunge, knee right over that second toe, opening up. So I'm opening up towards my left side, just push the ground away and stand on up. So coming back again this side, rotating, making sure we rotate all the way there and all the way back before we stand up. I want us to really focus on the core as we rotate and pushing off the ground with that whole foot. If we do it at the same time, we are bound to not use all of those muscles to the best of our abilities. So we're breaking it down one at a time. It also gets a little bit more time under tension on those legs. 3, 2, 1. Right. Round 1 is done. We're ready for our second round. We have the lateral bounds continuous. So we're going back and forth. On the third one, we're going to stabilize. 3, 2, 1. So we're here. Hips are going, I'm not going to jump this way. Hips are going back like we're getting that rubber band, and then we're jumping and exploding through releasing. So it's like we're coiling up, but we're doing 3. On that third one, we pause for a few seconds and then right back into it. Try and jump a little bit further this time as we can, since we are not stabilizing every time. Normally when we do this, we do a lot more stabilizing. Oops, I messed that one up. All right, we're good. So pushing off the ground with that whole foot. I keep forgetting that we're doing it this way. We're good, we're good. It's kind of like we're juking people out in basketball. 3, 2, 1. All right, those are fun. Okay, next up, we have our lateral moving lunges. So starting one side, moving towards the other. 3, 2, 1. So stepping out, hips going back, knee coming past that second toe, push the ground away. Want to really use our glutes and our quads as we push the ground away. Keep breathing through the movement. Keep that core nice and tight. Chest proud, wear your logo proud here. Definitely noticing my right leg is not as strong as my left leg. Great job, keep pushing. You probably have time for maybe 1 to 2 more laps back and forth. Keep pushing, finishing strong. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up we have our bent over L to overhead press. So elbows out, rotate over and back down. 3, 2, 1. Push those hips back, keep that core tight, elbows up, rotate, and then overhead and back down. So like I said, coming up like this helps with that posture, and then rotating up and down really does strengthen that rotator cuff. I've definitely seen a lot of rotator cuff injuries in my time from playing softball. Really important to protect our shoulder joints. So this is definitely a good movement that works multiple muscles in the upper body. Gotta love it. All right, great job. Keep pushing. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right, next up we have V-ups on the ground on our backs. Straightening those legs out. Use that core. 3, 2, 1. So legs coming up, touching those toes as high as we can. Exhaling as we come up helps us use that core. Awesome. Really keep those quads as loose as we can. I know as I get tired, I tend to use my quads and then I'll feel it in my hips and it doesn't feel so good. So I usually like to try and focus on keeping my feet loose, because then that will help keep the legs loose as well. So really trying to just use that core. Exhaling, going nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our eccentric single leg push-ups. I think I'm already not happy I put these in here. All right. I think we all know. 3, 2, 1. I think y'all have been coming to these classes long enough to know that I don't like push-ups. Yet I still put them in here because I know I could get better at them. And we all could get better at them. They're probably one of the harder body weight movements. I would say push-ups and pull-ups are probably my 2 least favorite body weight movements. Notice I didn't say burpees because I think we all also know that I do love burpees, but there's no B in CLOVER, so we lucked out today. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last up, round 2, we have our reverse lunge with rotation. So keeping the lunge and the rotation separate. It's going to help us get nice, strong legs here. 3, 2, 1. So we step back, knee past the second toe, turn towards that front leg, push around away, stand back up. So really focusing on using the core to rotate not just our shoulders or momentum, and then really focus on pushing through that whole foot, keeping that core nice and tight as we stand up. It does help if we move a little slower, really making sure we're engaging those glutes as we stand up, stepping through that heel, big toe, little toe. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. This workout was flying by. We got our last round coming up. We got our continuous lateral bound to stabilize. 3, 2, 1. Definitely trying to incorporate different movements than we normally do. Trying to switch it up a little bit more. I know we do some lateral bounds a couple times here and there. So this is definitely a different way of moving through it, focusing on the speed, power, explosiveness, as well as our stabilizing muscles, making sure that we have that whole foot on the ground. This movement would be really great to do without shoes, which I'm not going to try that here, but really working on our stability in our feet, because a lot of things, a lot of movements do start with how our feet connect to the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, lateral moving lunges. Starting out whichever side you'd like. 3, 2, 1. Core tight, chest proud. Push the ground away with the whole foot. Great job. Like push those hips back. This is our 3rd time, so we should be the most warm and mobile out of the whole workout in this last round. So let's try and push ourselves, get a little bit deeper into that side lunge here. We can even move a little slower if we need to as we are getting a little bit lower. Great job. Finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Time to lay down. We have V-ups. We got 3 more movements here today. Then we'll go ahead and do our cool down. 3, 2, 1. So push the belly button into the ground. Exhaling as we come up. Great job. Glasses are falling into my face and fogging up. Don't know about anyone else. So keep those feet loose. Use the core. Crush that apple that's sitting on your stomach. Moving nice and slow, really engaging that core. This is, 45 seconds is 45 seconds no matter how fast you go. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have our last round of push-ups. Yay. And then we got our reverse lunges and then we'll cool down. We're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. Going nice and slow. Keeping those elbows nice and tight. Trying to hit the chest and the hips on the ground at the same time. So if our chest is hitting first, that means we really need to make sure that we are going nice and slow, keeping that core nice and tight. Also making sure that we are still squeezing that orange, cracking that egg in our in between our shoulders. That's going to help us keep a nice, strong, stable base as we get stronger in this movement. Great job. Finish strong here. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those for today. And we have our last movement, reverse lunge with rotation. Starting at the top here. 3, 2, 1. Step back, rotate, back to center, push the ground away. Great job. Really going nice and slow again here. Focus on using the muscles that we want to. Also, the slower we move as we rotate, the more of an isometric, which means just the longer the hold at the bottom, we're going to accrue more muscle fibers. We're going to get a little bit stronger. Really try and keep that knee off the ground. Great job. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for the workout. Oh, we skipped. Just kidding. We're going to end. Sorry. We skipped the bent over L's. I don't know how I missed that. I'm sorry, everyone. We got the bent over L's. We'll finish with that. 3, 2, 1. I don't know how I forgot this one. Must have just skipped right over the O on this last one. This is like my favorite one for the day. I don't know how I forgot that. That's okay. We're finishing strong with this movement. Last movement here. Drive those elbows up, rotate overhead, and then back down. Awesome. Keep the weight into the glutes, so that way we don't feel it in the low back. Start to shake it out a little bit. 3, 2, 1. All right, now we are done with the workout today. My apologies, everyone. I was not paying enough attention. All right, go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need it. And then we're gonna go ahead and make our way onto the ground for our cool down. And we did a lot of side-to-side movement here, a lot of rotation. So we're gonna start off with some quad rocks here with that adductor stretch. So sticking one foot out to the side, keep that pinky toe on the ground. We're gonna inhale, rock back. And exhale, coming forward and rocking back. Exhaling, coming forward. We're gonna do 2 more, rocking back. And coming forward. And last one. Edging up in our starting position. And when we finish that last one, we can go ahead and move to the other side. So sticking the opposite foot out, keep that pinky toe on the ground, make sure those hips are level, rocking back as we inhale and exhale, coming forward. We're gonna do 3 more. Two more here. And last one. And once we finish that last one, we're gonna stay on our hands and our knees. We're gonna do a little bit of thread the needle, stretch out our back a little bit more, shoulders a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead, right hand gonna reach through in between left arm, left leg. We're gonna do a few breaths here. Breathing into the chest, push that hand into the ground, pull away with the upper back. It's gonna open up our lats a little bit, open up the muscles right underneath the shoulder blades, and maybe into our trap muscles, the tops of the shoulders a little bit as well. We're gonna do one more deep breath here. And after we finish the exhale, we can go ahead and return onto our hands and our knees. And when we're ready, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So reaching the opposite hand in between the opposite arm, opposite leg. Breathing into the chest, really feeling the upper back expand. And let's go and do one more deep breath here. And when we have finished our last deep breath, you can go ahead and slowly return that hand back up underneath the shoulder, and feel free to return to seated, kneeling, or standing. But that is going to be all the time we have for today's class. So I hope y'all got nice and sweaty like I did. And hopefully we had fun with the CLOVER workout for St. Patrick's Day. So hope everyone has some corned beef and cabbage at some point this week. And then nice job, everyone. Thank you for coming. And then I'll see y'all again in the next